Hey everyone, welcome back. I know it's been a while, but I'm back, and we have another video about Ragnarok Online. Today we're gonna talk about something that hasn't hit the official servers yet, but it's just a matter of time before we get there. As you can see on the title screen, it's the force state def value. So this is the latest type of resist that the developers have added into the test servers, and we're going to talk about that in a little while. Before we get there, I want to thank everyone in Team Leaks. Again, guys, thanks for extracting the data from the game and giving us a preview of what's about to come. A lot of the resources here have been data mined with the expertise of the group. So if you're part of the unofficial Discord channel, just drop them a thanks for me. Okay, so now let's go there. So, just so we stay on topic, because I'm very notorious for for going off track in my discussions. So we're gonna talk about three things. What is force state def? What skills are affected, and where can you get them? So, force state def is a form of resistance to force hold statuses. Now, the term forced hold is a terminology I came up with myself for a lack of better term. And it basically pertains to some of the holds that you just, can't resist. So, which is space silence, the taunt from sacrifice, as you see from the snippets here. Now, there are other skills. I'm going to talk about that later, but these are the most notorious ones. So, as you know, Space Silence is a debuff coming from Chronomancers, where after X number of seconds, you basically stop moving. You and everyone around you stop moving. The Taunt from Sacrifice comes from the rune, and basically, every time you get hit by someone who has the sacrifice buff on, there's a chance that you get taunted. Uh, so yeah, basically the force state def multiplies the chance so that you arrive at the final percentage. If you look at the formula here, so this is the part that you need to look at for space silence. This is how it looks like. Now, if you know a little bit about programming, so math.min basically says whatever in this parenthesis is, it's gonna pick the lower value. And so this effectively sets a limit to 80% to this stat. Now, this is hard coded, so while everything I see as of now is 80%, it's not too impossible that they eventually change this depending on the skill. Okay, so in the example that you see here, the space silence computation would look somewhat like this. So these values are coming from the actual space silence buff, so it's not shown here, just don't mind this. So A would be equals to 1 multiplied by 0 plus 100 multiplied by 1 minus the lower value of force state def, or 0.8. Now let's just say, for example, you have force state def equals to 0.5. Then, by substituting, you'll arrive at something like this. So if the base percentage is 100%, just like in space silence, having 50% force state def actually reduces the chance to just 50%. Same thing with sacrifice. We're gonna go there later, but sacrifice basically has a 60% chance to cast taunt. So what this does is it actually multiplies that 60%. So if you have 50%, then effectively the chance will just be 30%. It's very simple, very straightforward. It doesn't stack with your other resist. To be very clear, your individual resist are for the stats. Dark Lord card and Grandma Wolf card is for state def, or better called the CC resist inside the game, which is also different. So this targets very specific statuses. Now, what skills are affected? So, one is Space Silence from Chronomancers. One is the Taunt from Sacrifice from Divine Avengers. And another is from, I think it's from the Performers class. It's called Eden Smile, which basically stops everyone. So currently the limit is set to 80%. It's hard coded just like what I've shown earlier, but it's not too far fetched that they can change it on just one specific skill. Right? I don't know if they're gonna stick with 80%. Maybe in the future they figure out, oh, maybe for this skill let's do something less, or let's do something bigger. But as of now it's 80%. Also, based on the code, there are other skills that are also affected, such as black hole and dark matter trap. I didn't put them in here because I couldn't link them together in the file. So yeah, I mean, like what I said, I'm just putting stuff in here that I can personally validate. So these are the three. I haven't had time to do a thorough test, but if you have time, you can test out whether, I mean, if you have access to the test server, you can test out DMT and black hole and see if it works. But yeah, I've the code is there. I just couldn't link them together. But with these three, I'm pretty sure they do work. So now, where do we get them? Right? Where are the sources? Luckily for Chronomancers and Divine Avengers and the Performer class, there's very limited sources of this currently in the game. Sorry, in the test server. One is King of Chaos, so there will be a rework for King of Chaos. King of Chaos will have Force State Def added to it, so it's 40%. So just getting King of Chaos max will get you 40% of Force State Def. Not bad, to be honest, because if you now have, I mean, if someone in Magic Prison casts Space Silence on you, their chance to basically make you stop is just 60%. The other one is Guardian. So this is an active skill in Magic Prison, and it has to be casted. So you don't get it passively just by getting this. So when someone casts it on you, or when you cast it on someone, the one who receives the buff gets about 20%. So if you have King of Chaos and then you have Guardian, sorry, you have King of Chaos and then someone casts Guardian on you, then you effectively have 60% already. And then the third one, this has been recently shared by Team Leaks. It's part of the rental equipment that will be made available in the coming patches. So there is an equipment there called Rental Flutter Butterfly. Getting it to tier 5 gives you 30% for state def. So I think around tier 3 it gives around 15%, and then around tier 5 it gives another 15%, which effectively makes it 30%. Um, so yeah, so far these are all of the sources for state def. They're very minimal, but what this actually tells us is that they can do something like this, and they thought about doing something like this. So it's not too far fetched that you get more sources from it. Personally, I like it because Space Silence has always been very overpowered, especially in 6v6 scenarios. So having something that deters it is definitely something that's something good. Now, obviously, whether you're going to be able to make a reliable build outside of Magic Prison using all of this is a different story. So I'm not an expert into making characters. I'm just an expert in giving you info like this. So that's it. Thanks everyone for listening. I tried to keep it as quick and short as possible because I've always been given feedback that my videos are so long. So again, thanks for tuning in, and see you in our next video.